Do you remember why you started trading? No one comes to the market just to make money. People come because they believe money will give them freedom. Freedom of time, freedom of geography, freedom to choose how to live. You saw charts, strategies, backtests, and YouTube thumbnails promising exponential returns. You prepared yourself mentally to battle the market, the system, and the so-called big players. You thought this journey would be about strategies, accuracy rates, indicators, and setups. But if you've been here for more than a few months, you already discovered the truth nobody tells you in the beginning. The fight isn't out there. The real enemy is inside you. The market didn't give you freedom. It trapped you inside your own emotional patterns. The invisible battlefield. Inside every trader. When beginners start, they think trading is a purely strategic game. They devour technical analysis, spend hours searching for the perfect indicator, and try to memorize every pattern thinking that knowledge automatically equals profit. They believe trading success is a math equation, but the market forces you through a harsh transition. You entered looking for wealth. You ended up addicted to action. Trading stops being about money and becomes a psychological arena where your patience, discipline, confidence, and ego are tested every single day. You realize quickly that it's not enough to understand the chart. You have to understand yourself. And the cycle is almost always the same. You spot a perfect setup. You hesitate. You miss the entry. Fear shows up. Then you enter late. FOMO takes over. You win one trade. Suddenly, you feel invincible. You increase your position size, break your own rules. Then you give everything back. And the worst part, you don't feel like you lost money. You feel like you lost control. The emotional pain of losing hurts far more than the financial loss itself. And that's when it hits you. The real battle has nothing to do with candles or indicators. It's your own mind. This is what I call the invisible battlefield. A battlefield that exists entirely inside your mental and emotional landscape. The market is a brutally honest mirror. The market is the most unforgiving mirror you will ever face. It doesn't care about your background, your education, how badly you need this to work, or how long you stayed up studying. It reacts to your actions and reveals the truth behind your intentions. Every single trade you take is a confession. 1. A confession of fear. When you move your stop-loss further away, you're not adjusting your strategy. You're confessing that you can't accept the possibility of being wrong, too. A confession of impatience. When you take trades that aren't in your plan, you're confessing that feeling active is more important to you than being disciplined. 3. A confession of greed. When you refuse your take profit to double the gain, you're confessing your need to prove your worth through your P and L. The market doesn't punish or reward. It simply reflects who you are when no one is watching. Eventually, every trader realizes the same truth. The enemy isn't volatility. The enemy isn't the whales. The enemy isn't the news. The enemy is your inability to regulate yourself. Why you keep losing. The mind traps that control you. Now, to win this inner war, motivation isn't enough. You need psychology. You need science. This is where behavioral economics enters the game. Let's break down the 3 most destructive mental traps that sabotage traders without them even realizing it. 1. Confirmation bias. Trading your beliefs, not the chart. Your brain is built to look for evidence that confirms what you already believe. If you're long, you automatically search for bullish signals, bullish news, bullish indications. Anything bearish becomes invisible or irrelevant. You stop reading the chart. You start defending your opinion. This bias transforms a rational trader into someone emotionally attached to a narrative. And emotional attachment kills accounts. 2. Anchoring effect. Becoming a prisoner of your entry price. This trap happens when your mind assigns emotional meaning to the first number it sees. I bought at $10. I can't sell at $9. That $10 becomes an anchor, a psychological prison. You refuse to accept a manageable loss, not because the strategy says so, but because your ego refuses to let go of the anchor. The market has already moved on, but you're stuck in the past. Outcome obsession, the identity trap. This is the deadliest trap. You start tying your identity to your daily results. If you win today, you're smart. If you lose today, you're a failure. The P and L becomes your psychological oxygen. Each trade becomes a life or death event. You swing between euphoria and despair, confidence and self-doubt, discipline and revenge trading, all because you believe the outcome defines you. But the real breakthrough happens when you shift your focus. Don't obsess over outcome. Obsess over process. Profit is not the goal. Profit is the byproduct of consistent execution. You can say you understand it, you can repeat it, you can post it on your wall. But until your nervous system accepts this truth, you will continue sabotaging yourself. Because here's what the market knows, and what most traders refuse to face. You don't trade your strategy. You trade your emotional capacity. And this is exactly where your mission changes. Your mission is not to fight the market. Your mission is not to predict the next candle. Your mission is not to outsmart the algorithm. Your mission is to master yourself. And the moment this shift happens, every part of your trading transforms. Your true mission isn't to beat the market. It's to master yourself. Here's the uncomfortable truth most traders avoid. You don't lose because of lack of knowledge. You lose because you cannot yet execute what you know. You know you should wait, but you rush. You know you should cut the loss, but you hold. You know you should reduce size, but you increase it right after a win. You know exactly what the right action is, but you can't do it. This disconnect is the core of trading psychology. It's not ignorance. It's internal resistance. That's why you must flip your entire mindset. Stop chasing the perfect setup. Start chasing the version of yourself who can execute under pressure. Because the trader you are today is not equipped to handle the future you want. And that gap, the psychological gap, is what destroys accounts, not the market. And let me be crystal clear. We're not here to promise magical indicators. We're not here to sell fantasies of 90% win rates. We're not here to give you the illusion of control. What we will give you is the internal foundation that every elite trader hides behind the scenes. The inner machinery that allows them to stay calm during chaos, to act rationally under stress, and to execute flawlessly even when the market is trying to tear them apart. This is your new curriculum. 1. Recognize your internal patterns of self-sabotage. You cannot defeat an enemy you refuse to see. The first step toward mastery is awareness. Brutal, honest, unfiltered awareness. Why do you enter early? Why do you cut winners fast? Why do you let losers run? Why do you risk more when you're angry? Why do you revenge trade after a stupid loss? These are not mistakes. They are patterns. And every pattern has a trigger, a belief, a fear, and a reward. When you map these out, your trading stops being a mystery. It becomes predictable. Because you become predictable. And predictability is power. 2. Build the mental identity of a disciplined trader. You don't trade according to your goals. You trade according to your identity. If you subconsciously believe you're inconsistent, impulsive, or unlucky, your actions will always confirm that identity. No matter how many times you rewrite your trading plan, identity drives behavior. Behavior drives results. To trade like a professional, you must become the kind of person who is capable of professional behavior. Calm under pressure. Patient during uncertainty. Confident without arrogance. Disciplined without self-hatred. Flexible without losing direction. You don't earn consistency. You become consistent. 3. Create daily routines and rituals. that protect your focused trading is not about intensity, it's about stability. Your brain cannot maintain peak performance if you live in chaos. This is where rituals come in. A pre-market routine, a risk analysis checklist, a journaling ritual, a post-trade review, a moment of grounding before clicking buy or sell. The purpose is not to create a boring life. It's to create a stable one. Because in a volatile environment like the market, stability is your only anchor. Rituals reduce uncertainty. Rituals reduce stress. Rituals create consistency. And consistency creates results. 4. Neutralize emotional impulses before they destroy your plan. Most traders try to manage emotions during the trade, and that's why they fail. You can't regulate fear while the candle is moving. You can't regulate greed when the profit is growing. You can't regulate frustration after a loss. At that point, your nervous system is in control, not your strategy. You must regulate emotions before they get triggered. That means visualizing the loss before it happens, accepting the uncertainty before the entry, defining the risk before the excitement appears, grounding yourself before clicking buy, breathing before reacting. Your emotional system must be calm before the chaos begins. That's the real edge. 5. Operate from clarity, not from fear or adrenaline. Fear blurs perception. Greed narrows it. Impatience accelerates it. Ego distorts it. But clarity. Clarity is the sharpest weapon a trader can have. Clarity turns noise into structure. Clarity turns volatility into opportunity. Clarity turns randomness into probability. When you operate from clarity, your mind becomes quiet. The candles slow down. The impulses fade. The market stops feeling like a threat. You stop feeling like prey. This is the state where elite traders operate, not emotionally, but intentionally. External edge versus internal edge. Most traders spend years chasing external edge. Strategy indicators, setups, confirmation, precision entries. But the traders who survive, the ones who thrive, shift their focus inward. Elite traders cultivate internal edge, emotional self-regulation, confidence built through discipline, patience built through routine, focus built through identity execution, built through consistency. Because here's the truth. No technical analysis book wants to admit your strategy already works. You are the variable. And the moment you gain control over your impulses, your emotional triggers, and your internal dialogue, your strategy finally gets the chance to express its statistical edge. That's why internal mastery is not optional. It's the prerequisite for survival. If you're tired of being your own worst enemy, welcome. This channel is not for traders looking for shortcuts. It's for traders ready to transform. Because the real game is not happening on your screen. It's happening in your mind. And here, you're not just going to learn how to trade. You're going to learn how to become the trader who wins. The trader with clarity, discipline, emotional control, and psychological strength. In the next episode, we begin. Chapter 1. The Invisible Enemy. Yourself. I'll share the first practical exercise that will help you map your internal battlefield and begin your journey toward true inner edge. The advantage no one can take from you. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and let's build the most important asset of your trading journey. The trader you become.